Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the weekly MMA Cycles market update. Today is the 11th of September, 2024, and I am Gianni DePoci, your host. We are seeing a nice snapback rally in markets following an inflation report that basically came in at estimates. This has all but confirmed the probability of a 25 basis point or a quarter of a % rate cut next week by the Federal Reserve instead of a 50 basis point or a % rate cut. So let me go ahead and share my screen. We can start off by looking at the Dow Jones. We're seeing a pretty big bid come through in stocks with technology and the NASDAQ leading the way higher. This is a bullish development following a pretty steep sell-off that transpired over the last week and a half. And what I especially like about this rally is the fact that the Dow took out last week's low, but the NASDAQ did not. And now you're seeing the NASDAQ lead to the upside. This is a really bullish sign for markets in the near term. I'm really looking forward to Ray's presentation and forecast on long-term market cycles that's approaching in just 2 weeks at the MMA investment retreat in Lake Bled, Slovenia. If you're not going to attend in person, I highly recommend that you pick up a virtual ticket. You can find that at www.mmacycles.com because we're coming to a really critical point. We are going to have the North Node moving into the signs of Pisces and Aquarius in a few years from now, and it's going to be very important for long-term wealth building and even protecting your wealth potentially as we move into the back half of the decade. But in the near term, we do have the sun set to square Jupiter on the 12th tomorrow, and then we're going to have Venus trine Jupiter on the 15th. And then next week on the 17th, we have a lunar eclipse in Pisces, which may end up being important for the crude oil market. But right now, stocks are on the move. We are seeing bonds. Check out TLT, the long-term Treasury ETF, hit a new high today, and we did also see mortgage rates fall to their lowest level of the year. That's going to be another presentation at the investment retreat, the future of residential real estate, the housing market, interest rates, and how to approach that. I'm going to be presenting that one. I'm very excited to do so because it's not usually a market that we discuss, the actual housing market here at MMA, but we applied our methodology to it and found some pretty remarkable findings. So I'm excited to share that with you all at the live event. So bonds hit a new high. We're early in a primary cycle. It looks like interest rates are going to continue falling in the near term, and that's supported by the Fed set to cut rates next week. Take a look at gold and silver. Gold is down slightly. We're taking a look at GLD, the ETF. If you look at silver here, it is up. Silver trying to form a higher low here. It's still caught between two potential cycle labels. If it's in a newer cycle, it could still be bullish, but if it's in an older cycle, it has turned bearish, and I wouldn't expect this rally to last much longer. I know Puyan will be giving a presentation on that at the investment retreat. Take a look at the dollar, trying to see a higher low form here in the euro. So far, we've seen prolonged selling in the euro for the last couple of weeks. So keep an eye on that because I do think that a weaker dollar would be a tailwind for stocks. Interesting price action unfolding in the dollar yen because we did take out that low from August 5th with a case of bullish oscillator divergence. And we are in a reversal period right now with signatures related to Venus. That's coming in a couple of days, but still in the orb of influence. And this is a really major development because we are in the time band for a low of significance, both short and long term. And if this was the culprit behind markets blowing up over the last couple of weeks and it's coming to an end, then perhaps it becomes a tailwind for markets. So definitely something to keep an eye on. If the carry trade unwind is over, we'll see how we react once the Fed actually moves to cut interest rates next week. If you take a look at USO, the crude oil fund, it continues to break down. This is a concern when it comes to recessionary risks. I don't think there's a supply gut right now, so that wouldn't be the catalyst for lower prices. And I think it's more of a demand story. The yield curve just steepened again. We talked about that in the monthly cycles report that was just published a couple days ago, where we updated our outlook here at MMA for stocks, bonds, commodities, currencies, and more. And this is a big concern because if crude oil prices start to implode, then it could signal economic slowdown. That being said, I think we're in the time band for a low of significance, so something you want to keep an eye out for here, especially with these Jupiter aspects approaching, Jupiter being the co-ruler of energy markets. And then you have the lunar eclipse in Pisces. Pisces also rules crude oil as well. So potentially an important moment approaching here for the energy space. Let's take a look at Bitcoin and Ethereum real quick. Nice rally here. We were selling off for most of the day, but we've been up for a few days in a row. Been talking about Venus in Libra over the last couple of weeks. And what's interesting about that is we had the ingress on the 29th of August. And, we look for 20% or greater moves, mainly in Ethereum, but it can happen in Bitcoin as well. And, when you look here at Bitcoin, we only dropped 14%. And now we've rallied about 10% off that low. When it comes to Ethereum, from that Venus ingress into Libra, we dropped about 17%. So not quite satisfying that study, but a 20% rally, if it's still going to happen, we have about 11 days left, would just take you back to the $2,600 area. So it could be possible, but not necessarily a situation where it's going to, put you back into a bull trend yet. I did update some of the cycle studies on these markets. I'm excited to share those with attendees of a very important time band we're coming into for cryptos. Obviously, we're in a CRD period now, but a very interesting development took place in the futures market between Bitcoin and Ethereum. And what happened was last Friday, we actually saw Ethereum futures make a new low, but Ethereum cash did not make a low. As you can see here, the low from August 5th continues to hold, and neither did Bitcoin Cash or Bitcoin futures. And so that's intermarket bullish divergence and does warn for the possibility of a reversal back higher. So we'll see if this sticks. Historically, cryptos do well in a strong liquidity environment, and that's what we're going into now with the Fed's rate cuts. So something to watch. As we know that crypto is a great place to make money. We're going to be covering this in detail at the investment retreat. So that's all that I had to share with you guys this week. Thank you so much for watching. We will have a video next week right before the investment retreat, which begins next Thursday on the 19th of September. And again, you still can attend virtually. Strongly recommend that you do so. It's going to be a fantastic event. And we're going to be covering a lot of very important information. As I mentioned, the monthly cycles report was just released this past week. Next week, we have the Shanghai report and the monthly ETF report set to be released as well. So that's all for now, everyone. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe to the channel and hit the like button. We'll be back next week. Same time, same place. Thank you.